Have a look at it. Sunday arvo, 3 o'clock. It's supposed to be raining. It's beautiful. Adelaide. I'm out at Morialta, just playing with the Megneg, or not playing with it, just riding it. I've got it set up how it should be, and it's better than the Coil so far, I've got to say. Morialta DH, Superdeluxe Megneg. With a good setup, kind of my preferred setup. Oh, squared that off a little bit and had to brake in the corner. I reckon I can go one more clicker compression in the back. Maybe one too much on the low speed at the front, but it is quite direct, which is good, but it's less forgiving. So we'll carry more speed on the line, but you got to be on the line. I think it's good. Just got to get familiar with it. Oh, I had to slow down for that every time instead of setting up the correct cornering technique. I don't know how many of you guys notice it, but when you start to get tired, all your hip movement disappears, and that's where a lot of your speed comes from. Being able to change your direction with your hips, so you don't have to slow down so much for turns and obstacles. I think, yeah, that's good. And if you can't turn your hips, you can't steer your bike. And that also happens when your back end's a bit too stiff. You can't turn your hips because you're spending all your time trying to keep your feet on the pedals unless you're clipped in. But that was a pretty good run. Won't be fast, but it was a pretty clean run for me, so check that one out on Strava. So it looks like it would just be this rain, it's just coming down now. A little bit of a sprinkle. That was good, there was a few laps. As you know, I've been testing the Coil lately and not really happy with the performance, and I think it's mostly due to the compression circuit, or just the I guess the primitive nature of the compression circuit in that shock maybe. The high speed compression hits just weren't good enough, and I've spoken about that in the video, but the Superdeluxe with the Megneg just dominates. It just absolutely dominates. It's way better than the Coil, more control. I can tune the shape of the spring to suit the amount of sag that I want, and I can alter that and set it up to a different sag, whereas with the spring you're kind of governed by the bike's kinematics. With the Coil you're governed by the bike's kinematics and whatever spring rate you land on in order to not be blowing through your travel. So with the air I can mess around with it, and I can run it at 32%. You know, if I was to run this exact setup at 32%, I'd just put another token in and run a little less pressure, another positive token, a little less pressure. If I want to run it a little higher in the sag, I wouldn't touch the positive tokens. I would take 2 negative bands out and add pressure, and that'll give me heaps of mid-stroke support. Oh, it's kind of hard to explain. Yeah, scratch that, because I'm not quite sure myself there with the exactly how the Megneg. I know how it feels, but I don't know how to describe it yet, so I won't go into it because I'd just be fumbling it. But today at Morialta and a Strava run, I wasn't going fast. I took it easy on the top turns and didn't really try and get to, or I tried to kind of get a little quick, but made a mistake at the top and just flowed from there down. Like, wasn't trying to go fast, and I did a 2:54, which is honourable down that track. So my best times are 2:39, which is very, very fast, and that was before the chicane at the top was built. So it used to go straight through the tight right left that's near the top. So you're looking at a 42 is probably a KOM, a realistic KOM there, a 41. But yeah, this thing feels way better. I can definitely get in the 40s with this current setup exactly as is, not touching it. I'd probably run another PSI in the fork just to bring it up a touch and keep it from going through the travel, just float over those harsher hits a little better. But yeah, Superdeluxe Megneg, definitely. If you got a patrol, that's what you want.